What it do, crew? Welcome back to the channel. So you know what would be really cool is if I reacted to a reaction video that had me in it. It would be like this infinite monetization loop that would be really cool. So I'm going to film this video where I'm going to react to a reaction video that's titled Millionaire Reacts, buying a $599K townhouse in Los Angeles. Wait for it, Millennial mortgage. So I know I talk about this a lot on my channel. I was featured on CNBC Make It with my fiance about buying a home. We bought a house here in Los Angeles. We had an insane high interest rate on our mortgage. We didn't put 20% down, so we had PMI. I used to commute almost 3 hours a day, and this millionaire basically had a lot to say about it. And I'm going to say this. A lot of the things that he said stuck with me for over the last year, and I don't think I could get over it. With that, let's get into the video and see what he has to say, because I haven't watched this in a long time, and I have to give it to him. It changed my life. So here we go.
Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. My name is Graham, and welcome to my show. Cheers, guys. I got a CNBC mug today to fit this special occasion, because just when you thought CNBC Make It's Millennial Money couldn't possibly get any better, because after all, that is the pinnacle of entertainment. It doesn't get better than that. Or so I thought, because they slapped us in the face with this morning. It is called, wait for it, Millennial Mortgage.
Yeah, Millennial Mortgage, we were the first ones that were featured on a spin-off segment of Millennial Money titled Millennial Mortgage. The one line item that stuck out in my application was we just bought a house, or we were like literally in the process of buying a house when I applied, and they wanted to feature that portion of it.
We have Millennial Money that we just all know and love, and now we got Millennial Mortgage to throw on top of that, and pretty soon I'm sure we're gonna have Millennial Wedding, and then Millennial Dining, and it's never going to end, and we're gonna be forever so happy with this.
It would be kind of cool if there were follow-ups to these Millennial Money features, or a follow-up on Millennial Mortgage, or I don't say this a lot, but I think it would be really cool if all the people who have had a reaction video by Graham on his channel got together and then confronted Graham himself on all these things that he called us out on. Maybe it'll happen in the future.
Buying a $599K townhouse in Los Angeles. Wait for it, Millennial Mortgage. And like I said, this is perfect for me because I live in Los Angeles. I'm a millennial. I got a mortgage. What more can I ask for? Let's get into the video and see what it's all about. I hate it when people say that, Graham, you don't own the property, the bank owns the property. I'm like, do you not know how this works?
You know what's crazy? That video came out over a year ago now. This reaction video came out, a couple days later. I still get comments from people on that video, like they tag me, or that I see comments pop up every once in a while when I visit that video. They keep saying, you don't own the house. The bank owns the house. Just try not paying your property taxes even if you pay off your mortgage. It's not your house.
This guy gets it so far. Other people who say that, it blows my mind, the ignorance.
Our home was priced at $599,000 and we put 10% down.
I gotta say, 10% down on a property in Los Angeles, it's pretty good. Like, I don't see that happening very often. The lowest I have ever put down on a property was 15%.
So at the time when we purchased the property, the price was $599K. So 10% down was only $60K, right? So if we decided to put down 20% down, we would have had to cough up $120,000. Even at 15, we would have had to put down $90,000.
I'm Verstar.
And I'm Janelle Yee, and we just bought our first home in Gardena, California.
Wait, I think it's missing something.
I'm Verstar.
And I'm Janelle Yee,
and we just bought our first home in Gardena, California.
Wait a second, I think it's still missing something.
I'm Verstar.
And I'm Janelle Yee,
and we just bought our first home in Gardena, California.
Which is 20 minutes south of Los Angeles.
That is the big myth of Los Angeles, is that everything is within a 20-minute driving distance. No, I'll tell you, unless you're flying around in a helicopter.
It could have been a myth like a year ago before the illness happened, but honestly, like right now, you can get anywhere in Los Angeles in 20 minutes or less.
Like, nobody's selling because a lot of these people bought the property so low 10 years ago, and their property tax basis is like a third of what it would be now, so they don't want to get rid of it. So now they're just holding on to these properties, not selling them, and the inventory right now in Los Angeles, because of that, is absurdly low. And even for me, as an investor and a full-time real estate agent, like, I can't find anything.
Just a year ago, the inventory was absurdly low. You want to know how low it is now? It's like it was so small before, you didn't even think it could become so smaller. Like, the interest rates are so low right now, like everyone's trying to buy a house. I imagine like if our place was on the market right now, you'd be having like 5-10 bids. There'd be bidding wars just because there's low inventory.
So the fact that they even found something even after a year and a half is also, you got to commend them for that persistence.
I just want to say that our real estate agents really cared a lot about us. We were able to find a place and they never gave up on us. I mean, there were times where we were really discouraged. So shout out to David and Christine for helping us find this place.
Ver actually works in Santa Monica, so we do like that it allows him to have that commuter experience. So he does take the buses and train over to work.
Wait, what sort of commuter experience?
If you're new to the channel and you're like, what is the commuter experience? Like, this guy commutes to work. No, I sit at home, I work from home, I make YouTube videos on my off time, like at lunch or after work, and the commuter experience was literally just from that phrase that came out of this video.
It's a good thing that you get the experience of taking an hour to get from Gardena to Santa Monica in traffic. That builds character. You know, there's just nothing that fortifies patience more than spending an hour each way in traffic. That is a good experience.
You know what's funny though, Graham? If I had a Tesla, the commuter experience would be awesome, right? Like I could put it on autopilot, I could read a book, or I could film YouTube videos and actually call it the commuter experience. Like what if it was called the Commuter Experience Podcast?
Yeah, the only problem I see on this so far is that he has not smashed the like button on this video. If you have not done that already for the YouTube algorithm, that would be greatly appreciated.
Hey, if you haven't done that either, let's go ahead and do that real quick too. Well, actually, I already smashed the like button on this one, and it doesn't really help to unlike it and then like it again. But if you haven't already done so, please smash the like button on this video.
The buyer actually doesn't pay anything to the real estate agent that is representing them.
See, that is very true, and you would think that if you were to cut out the buyer's agent that you could save, let's say 2.5% to 3% of the selling price.
You know, I didn't know that at first. When we closed on the house, I actually asked our agents, like, hey, do we, have to pay you anything, or did you receive like your commission? And they were like, no, we got our commission. It was a routine deal. And then the nice part is after that, they came over to our house, took a picture, like sold, and then gave us a gift card, and that was really nice.
But with that said, let's look through some of these upfront costs. We got our down payment, $60,000, that is fine. Appliances, $4,238. But washer, dryer, and fridge. That, I gotta say, is a lot of money for a washer and a dryer and a fridge. The way to do it is you wait for a Labor Day sale at Lowe's. And then you go to Lowe's, you get them to price out and quote you on appliances. And then you take that to Home Depot. And what they end up doing is they end up beating that price that Lowe's gave you.
You know, it's funny, I guess I could have done that, but at the same time, we closed on our house at the end of May, and then we were moving in the month of June. Labor Day is not until September, right? So I can't wait for 2 to 3 months for a new fridge. The crappy part is getting those appliances up to the second floor, like in a townhome, was really difficult for the delivery people, but they got it done. There was some scuffs here and there, and then I just had to, paint, do some touch-ups over that.
I was able to get my washer dryer for free is that if you get these high efficiency washer dryers in California, many of them offer you a $400 cash rebate for the washer, and usually it's a $350 to $400 rebate for the dryer because it's all energy efficient.
Crappy thing is I looked on our electric servicer and we don't get that nice stipend. We didn't get that $400.
And here we got the expenses, $3,851 a month, which seems a little bit on the high end compared to what this property would probably rent for.
I did look at the rent comps in this area. This unit, if we were to rent it out, like if we moved out, rented it out, kept it, it would only probably bring in around $2,800 to $3,000 a month.
With, by the way, PMI, $91 a month. Oh man. That is the one thing that I hate about putting a little money down is that you end up paying PMI, and that's called private mortgage insurance.
The crazy thing is with PMI is I was very surprised, even though we did sign on to that loan, it was low. It wasn't like hundreds of dollars because I was looking at PMI for other lenders. It was like $200, $300, but we were fortunate enough to get a $91 a month PMI payment. And then, like I said, I was going to say this later, we refinanced our mortgage into a brand new 30-year fixed rate loan at a rate of 2.75% and no PMI.
And so therefore, you have to pay for an additional insurance just in case you don't end up making the mortgage payments and the bank has to foreclose on the property.
So I know Graham was disappointed at this point in time, but just over a year later, we got rid of that. It didn't take us 5 years like the typical amount, because if we were to keep that original loan, to knock off the PMI, usually you have to pay your mortgage down, gain that equity, and then you can call up your lender and say, hey, can we knock off the PMI? And then they'll do that. But that would have probably took more than just a year, and we were able to do it in a year, fortunately.
I make my own cold brew, and this is why we were able to get a house, because I save money on coffee.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wonder, you watching the Graham Stephan show? Is that you? But I also noticed that there's no avocado toast anywhere in that kitchen so far. That needs to change.
I've literally been watching Graham's videos now for, I want to say, 3 going on 4 years. Like, ever since I moved out to LA and I had more free time just commuting to and from work, I've read books, I was watching YouTube videos or Netflix, but then I started saying, like, why am I not being productive? Why don't I start doing something with my life? Like, go to his videos every day. I drop him a comment every now and then when I can. And fortunately, like, I've met this guy in person, and just having the experience of meeting someone that I look up to as like a mentor, as someone who guides me like financially with investments and real estate investing, all that kind of stuff, was really cool. And I'll have to say that is probably one of the main reasons why I applied to Millennial Money, why I was hoping I would get accepted, and then we were featured, and then bam, now it's all over YouTube and everyone's seen it.
Number one reason why millennials cannot buy a house: coffee and avocado toast. That makes me so happy. Really smart choice for doing that and not tying themselves down to a mortgage that they felt was just a little bit too high. I'm the same way. At this point, I could go and like buy a $3 million property if I wanted to, but I would just feel so uneasy.
You know what's crazy? He says he could have been approved for a $3 million property. I wonder how much he'd be approved for now, because this guy just bought like a 1.4 million property out in Vegas. Go check it out. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure a video is going to come out this week at the same time as this video where he's going to do a house tour. I'm excited for it.
Maybe you have to save a little bit more on the emergency fund to be able to do that, but that's where I guess I would differ, because you have to look at the amount of money you're putting down on a property to avoid $91 a month. And where's the ROI and the break even on that?
The $91 a month is crazy, because I did the math on it. I think it was a year or a couple years out, where if we took that $60,000 and put it just in a savings account at a rate of, at the time, 2.5% for some savings accounts, that difference, like the interest on that $60,000, would have covered the PMI.
When we spoke with a real estate agent, they wanted us to get pre-approved, and that involves, having your W-2s, your tax statements, your proof of funds.
It's a lot. They definitely verify you and vet you very closely before they loan any amount of money to you.
It is an extensive process. Even just for our refinance, it took over a month to close, and almost, I would say, a week or maybe even 2 weeks of it. So half of the amount of time was spent in underwriting. Like, we were moving money around. I had to source the money. I sold off a couple stocks just to make the difference on, I think, maybe $2,000 or $3,000, and then I had to move that from my brokerage account to a bank account, and then to another bank account where I was going to make the sum payment to. And basically, I did the source from the original movement and then the destination. Then I didn't get the intermediate account. So then my mortgage broker was like, hey, where did this money go? Because these accounts don't match. So then I had to give her that statement, and then, yeah, it was a whole bunch back and forth.
Word to the wise, subscribe to the Graham Stephan Show if you have not done that already.
Also, subscribe to the Commuter Experience if you haven't already done that already.
And hit the notification bell.
And hit the notification bell.
Oh wow, they got Brandon Turner's Bigger Pockets book on rental property investing. That's one of the books that I recommend all the time. I have a feeling they watch my channel. I would be so happy if they watch my channel. I'm getting excited at just the prospect that is a reality. That's so cool.
You know what makes me really happy is that he was so excited when this video came out, or at least when I saw this reaction video. Like, he looks genuinely excited. I've chatted with him every once in a while, like, when I go onto his mentorship group or when I hit him up in the comments. Like, I think the cool thing is since he has so many people, like over 2 million people watching him, plus, his sub channels, it's just, he's one guy, but he has this influence on just so many people that look up to him, that learn from him, and just, it would be really cool to have a friend like Graham. If you get the chance to meet this guy, it is like, it's just a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and it's really cool.
Wow, I gotta say, this is such a cool new series. I'm a huge fan. Like, I did not know what this is going into it. I think it's so clever. I love the story behind it. I love the fact that these people know what they're doing and they're giving you some really good tips. I don't disagree with anything that they've done except the PMI.
I think we came out on top on that part, and, again, I can't stress this enough. This was a fun experience. It's already been a year ago, but at the same time, I like looking back at it and just saying, wow, that actually happened. We're able to do this. And there is so many like peers that I know who have been able to, save up money, buy a home, do that thing despite, what we've been taught in school, or the lack thereof of what we learned in school about personal finance. And it's really cool just seeing other people being able to do these things. And I think us showcasing that just proves that you can live in an expensive part of the country if you just change up your lifestyle. I mean, if you're willing to sacrifice certain things like a commuter experience and then not have a fancy car, you can afford a mortgage payment, and then if you make your own coffee at home, you can invest that difference or save that difference and be able to afford things that you wouldn't have been able before.
We could do a follow-up Millennial Mortgage series over at your house. But overall, I gotta say, love this episode. It did not make me angry. If anything, it made me excited. I enjoy this sort of series in a way that's different than Millennial Money. Like, you can love two things, but love them differently.
I honestly haven't watched that video all the way through like this in a long time, like since the beginning of last year. So seeing that again, it really just reiterates and kind of just solidifies what we've done is kind of the right thing. So if you haven't already done so, thanks so much for watching the video. Please remember to obliterate the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know the next time I post a video on my channel. You can find me on Instagram. I do have fun there. Feel free to add me there, message me there, really just do anything because I have fun there. I mean, you can have fun too. Also, get your free stocks in the links in the description below. There's also a link to Millennial Investments. You haven't already checked it out, check out my link there, because if you go there, you scroll to the bottom and then you apply to win some prizes, you can win some prizes. And that's the really cool part. But also there's stuff on personal finance, investing, real estate investing, and life hacks that you can find there, blog articles and links to other content creators bringing you great content like this to build your wealth. So if you learned anything from this video and you enjoyed it, take that and get to work.
Bye.